Okay, Pseudoregalia is a literal masterpiece of a Metroidvania 3D platformer hybrid that injects old and new ideas into two of my favourite genres and mashes them together into a beautifully creative work of art. I found this game through the Steam trending page, I bought it the same day and completed it that evening. So yeah, this game isn't super long, it took me about 5 hours to complete, and I explored everywhere and collected the majority of collectibles. This time will likely vary dramatically depending on how experienced you are with Metroidvanias and 3D platform games. For some context, I would consider myself quite experienced, having played countless games in both genres. If you're thinking this is quite short, the game is also very cheap, currently priced at £5 British or $6 American. I would honestly have been happy with the game if I paid triple or even quadruple this, so it's just an incredible deal for the quality of game here. The focus is very much on the platforming in this game. The platforming mechanics are sublime. Honestly, one of the best controlling 3D platformers I've played that doesn't have Mario in the title. I don't want to spoil all of the movement mechanics that you unlock as you progress through the world, but trust me when I say there's some really fun and unique styles of movement in here. There's the classic Super Mario 64 style long jump that honestly feels very different to Mario, even though it does a very similar thing. There's a ground pound jump and a really creative mid-air addition that I thought was really unique, so I won't spoil that one. Basically, if you're into 3D platformers like me, you will not be disappointed by how this controls. The level design was superb too, the way each area snakes and intertwines like a good Metroidvania map should do, and how each area has seemingly hidden secrets that actually contain sometimes essential upgrades that make you feel like you've outsmarted the game, all whilst being very intentional of course. It felt like I was discovering something hidden and unintentional in every single area, even though this was obviously not the case, but I feel like that's what makes a lot of good Metroidvanias good. It makes exploration rewarding and makes you feel accomplished for trying new things, and I think it was executed very well here. So there is actually no map in this game at all, which I know might put a lot of people off considering it's a Metroidvania that requires backtracking, but the lack of a map honestly wasn't a downside for me at all. I really enjoyed creating an imprint of the world in my head as I played, and it forced me to pay more attention to my surroundings. It actually felt like the game was designed with this in mind, and I never got truly lost and never had no idea where to check next. This kind of open-ended level design is superb, and creating a cohesive world that doesn't overwhelm the player with backtracking or constantly getting lost is very difficult to accomplish in a 3D Metroidvania. I don't think I've ever played a 3D game in this genre that has made the world feel so intriguing and challenging, but also a joy to move around in and explore at the same time. The backtracking is quite extensive, but it never felt like it was too much. Even though the world often feels huge, once you've figured out where everything is and kind of made a mental imprint of how the areas intertwine, you can get from one side of the map to the other in just a couple of minutes. There are so many ways to go at any one time, the game is very non-linear, but as I said before, it never felt overwhelming. I imagine everyone's experience will be slightly different. I know for sure that some of the power-ups and movement abilities I got first were certainly not as likely intended, but this made it even more enjoyable, and I was trying to find creative ways to use this moveset to my advantage, and essentially go to places that didn't seem like they could be accessed yet. I mean, saying that, I guess this stuff was actually intended, which I think does add to the replayability of subsequent playthroughs, but it almost feels like it's not intended, which I think is very cool. It seems like there'd be so many sequence breaks in here, and I'm really intrigued as to how people are going to speedrun this game. The difficulty was perfect for me personally. The biggest challenge comes from the navigation and lack of a map, and also the quite challenging platforming, although it never became frustrating, at least for me. Although I imagine if you're new to platformers, it may be quite difficult, but if you're not into the genre at all, this game probably isn't on your radar anyway. The PlayStation 1 style chunky blocks and textures really suit the game well, but sometimes it does kind of cause some areas to become confused with others, although I didn't really feel like this impacted the game too much. Even if you're looking at this and thinking it doesn't look like your kind of art style, if the gameplay itself sounds intriguing, I think you'll grow accustomed to the low poly aesthetic after a bit of time with the game. The music was also great, and I feel like each piece of music fit the general vibe of the area it was used in, and although it wasn't anything super memorable, it was enjoyable throughout and I didn't have any problems with it myself. It serves as a nice backdrop to the gameplay, which is absolutely the reason I'm speaking about this game so highly. It's easily one of the best games I've played this year, without a doubt. If you're into 3D platformers and Metroidvanias, you literally have no choice but to pick this up. And if you're only into one of those genres, I encourage you to give it a go anyway, especially considering the low cost of entry. I will mention that currently Pseudoregalia is only available on Steam, or PC at least, so if you were hoping to pick it up on a different platform, it's currently not available there, but considering the amount of attention it's getting, I would not be surprised if it gets ported to at least Nintendo Switch, which would be amazing, so more people get to experience this beautiful game. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you did like this video, do give it a like, it really helps the video out. And if you want to see more content like this, do consider subscribing. I know I haven't been very consistent with uploads lately, but I do want to be uploading more. I've just been kind of busy, but yeah, if you like the video, consider subscribing. Thanks everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all soon.